Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a fat activist saying that fat phobia is a system of oppression, and they are oppressed because of their weight. We're also going to be taking a look at a bonus clip where somebody's responding to a negative comment by singing and dancing. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache. Her caption at the top reads, "Fat phobia is a real system of oppression." You know, I've been saying that for years.
Okay, so I'm going to try to explain a couple things in the most easy way possible while I do my skincare.
Yes, please keep it simple because we're all dumb.
So, whenever I use the word fat phobia, there's, of course, a lot of people who are like, phobia? I'm not afraid of fat people. This is just something the leftists have made up.
That is what I sound like. Phobia? I'm not afraid of fat people. I start turning into Adam Sandler.
And the interesting thing is that there's homophobia, transphobia, all of these other phobias, right? Like, I could go on and on and on about systems of oppression. And
I could go on and on about systems of oppression. Oh, you must be great at parties. Hey, look, dude, there's Fierce Fat Femme. We should go hang out with her. She could teach us about systems of oppression. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could give ourselves a full frontal ice pick lobotomy. It sounds just as fun.
one of the main reasons why it's labeled as such, or what I believe it's labeled as such, is because people then get to hide behind these prejudices and like discriminatory ideas and facts.
So the people that disagree with it being a phobia are doing so because of discriminatory ideas and facts?
Facts that they believe. Through the idea that it's a fear, and so like it should be validated because it's a fear, right? So that's why I choose to use fat phobia, because it is a real term that applies to a system of oppression.
Okay, and what about arachnophobia? Is that a system of oppression against spiders? Or does it refer to people that have an irrational fear of spiders? You see, a system of oppression and an irrational fear are two very different things. That's why a lot of people would be like, hey, this term, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Some people may be like, you know what? I don't want to get fat because that would suck for various reasons. But that is a far cry from having an irrational fear of fatness or fat people.
In addition to that, I also know that a lot of people use the term anti-fat or anti-fat bias or anti-fat stigma because they're tired of people being like, oh, that's not actually a real fear. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
The term anti-fat is dumb too. That implies that people care enough to have it be part of their persona, right? Like, I am an anti-fat. I care that much about what these other people are doing. Nobody does.
And so they're like, well, then I'm just going to call it what it actually is, which is just like anti-fatness, point, period, blank.
No, some people don't want to become fat because it's bad for their health. Point, period, blank. That's all there is to it.
And I agree with that because it is just like straight up anti-fat bias and anti-fat hate.
Those are just trolls online. I'm sorry, I'll stop creating new accounts.
So what I also wanted to just take a moment to talk about too is that this is not something new, okay? It's not made up. It is...
I'm not just making all this terminology up to make myself feel better, guys. I swear. Super for really realers.
Directly linked to evidence that can prove that we live in a westernized society that is based in fat phobia.
The whole society is based in fat phobia. What? So the founding fathers had a distinct disdain for larger people, and that was the basis for the creation of this country, as well as our foundation for civilization as a whole. A lot of people don't know that.
That we see thinness as morally superior.
No, you see yourself as morally inferior, which is why you keep bringing it up. Nobody cares about your morals.
And that we see fat people as a disease. And
no, we see obesity as a disease.
And inhuman and blah, 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 right? And that gives people reason to be fucked up to humans that are fat.
I love how they try to internalize everything and make it personally about them. People aren't opposed to obesity. They're opposed to obese people. They're opposed to me, personally. So if somebody tries to help somebody with an alcohol problem, they're doing so because they hate alcoholics.
And if you're like, fat people don't face discrimination, blah, blah, blah. If you just go to all of my videos and actually just look through the comment section, you'll see. It'll prove my point for me. I won't even have...
I don't think that negative comments in your comment section really proves your point that you're oppressed. That's just people being jerks online. None of those comments are stopping you from going and living your life or getting a loan. Those comments aren't relegating you to a different drinking fountain than everybody else or anything like that. So I think you might be going off the deep end here.
It'll prove my point for me. I won't even have to do the work.
Yeah, because doing work would be fatphobic.
And on the note of preferences, maybe a lot of preferences can be built from or informed by prejudice or discrimination.
Or we could just have our own preferences and you don't need to try to control us. You're talking about systems of oppression and this and that, while at the same time telling people who they're allowed to be attracted to and who they're not.
Or larger systems of oppression that we then push onto each other at the interpersonal level.
Whatever makes you feel better, man.
So I don't want any fat person to be in a relationship or dating someone who is fatphobic or who doesn't believe that fat people deserve care or love.
So you're trying to guide the reproduction of your fellow fat activists. So now we've tipped into fat eugenics. What is this? It sounds like once your system is in place, you will have absolute control.
Or dignity, etc. So if you read my video and you take away that I'm forcing people to find fat people attractive, that's never said in any of the videos.
Well, basically you said if you're not into me, it's because you're a bigot and your preferences are based in oppression, right? That's silly. That's silliness. If you're not into me, you're a bigot and you have anti-mustache bias, and it's so insidious that it really leaks into every bit of the fabric of society when you think about it. Also, I don't want my fellow mustachioed gentlemen getting with somebody who's anti-mustache, so I will have to guide their reproduction. All breeding will have to be approved through me first moving forward. Welcome to the new world.
What I'm trying to get us to do is critically investigate.
I don't think you want any critical thinking at all. Thinking is actually the enemy of this movement.
Why we have these preferences, when they're not actually preferences, they're just anti-fat bias, right? That's what it is. Just call it what it is.
Okay, so you don't have preferences. What you do have is anti-fat bias, you bigot. You didn't even know it. Look at you. Just when I thought I knew you, dude. Click off the video. Go on. Get out. Don't even click the like button on your way out, you moron. Leave. No, do click the like button and continue watching the video. I don't care what she said. Alright, so that was weird as hell. Your preferences are not your preferences. They are a system of oppression, you bigot. Now we're going to take a look at a bonus clip of somebody responding to a comment by singing and dancing. That's a new one, huh? Alright, she's going to be responding to this comment that says, "You've increased your chances of diabetes, heart disease, and a plethora of other medical ailments. Great job."
Oh my god, I know.
Okay, so you start off by saying, "Oh my god, I effing know." So you know that you have an increased chance of diabetes, heart disease, and a plethora of medical ailments. Okay, so you're agreeing with the comment.
Every fat person is aware what you think of our health and body.
What is this, man? Like some show tunes? Did she just hit us with some jazz hands and some spirit fingers?
And the correlation between size and
Oh my
health.
god. What in the world, man? I guess this person is a belly dancer, or how many dances are just simulated sex? I'm not trying to be a prude, and I'm sure there are plenty of belly dancers in the comments that are gonna come for me. They're like, actually, it's an art form that goes back thousands of years, sir. I don't know. All I see is somebody going like this, like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. And twerking also looks like you're riding something or doing some kind of thing. I don't know, man. I'm not opposed to dancing. It's just that some dances is just like grinding the hips, like you're engaging in some kind of activity. I don't know, man. I'm not a prude. Save it for the bedroom, baby. Or maybe on a balcony of a nice hotel that you rented. Hey, whoa.
And the correlation between size and health. We fuck. No, I probably won't end up with either of those because it's not in my genetic code.
Okay, so if you eat like garbage and never exercise and you become obese, you still won't get diabetes or a heart attack or any of that stuff because it's all genetic. I didn't know that heart attacks were genetic. I'm learning a lot from Dr. Belly Dancer today.
It's not. No, it's cancer. Or it's stroke. But guess what? It wasn't my larger body that
This is terrible, dude. None of this rhymes. Oh my god.
raised that risk. It was from putting my body in a state of semi-starvation for 4 years.
Ah, another obese person with the restrictive ED. So now we have so many overweight people claiming that they tried to diet in the past and it destroyed their metabolism and their body, and now they're still dealing with it all these years later. Semi-starvation. You're either starving or you're not, man. There's no such thing as semi-starvation. The weight either started to come off of you, and then so much of it came off of you that you started wasting away your muscles and whatnot. If you never lose a single pound, you never starved. Getting a little bit hungry is not starving.
Yeah, unlocked all kinds of shit in my genetic code. Genetic code.
Okay, so the diet that you were on before is what unlocked all these things in your genetic code, and now you're dealing with the health consequences of that. It's not the obesity, right?
Yeah, like fibromyalgia. Let's see what else I end up with, cause I dieted.
So you're attributing the fibromyalgia to dieting, not to obesity, even though the vast majority of people with it are obese. Some people claim that it doesn't even exist and it's just the side effects of obesity. According to several prevalence studies, obesity is common among patients with fibromyalgia. Around 32 to 50% of patients with fibromyalgia are obese, and further 28% are overweight according to studies. Okay, so if 50% of patients with fibromyalgia are obese and 28% are overweight, that's 78%. It's so bizarre to think that your current medical conditions are because of the dieting that you tried and failed at in the past. I can't walk up a flight of stairs or reach to tie my own shoe because of all the dieting I did in the past, not because of my current obesity. Okay. Little bit of obesity, bronchitis attack.
Despite
Oh my god, why did you leave that in there?
all the research, science still hasn't concluded that adipose tissue itself is harmful.
Yes, they have. Adipose tissue is hormonally active and throws every system in your body out of whack. I've gone over that several times on this channel.
Otherwise, liposuction would lead to better health outcomes, and it doesn't.
Liposuction can't do the work of removing the fat from your body in the way that is intended. Yeah, it's almost like you're gonna have to do the work yourself. Oh my god, that sounds awful.
One thing it's definitely proven is that weight cycling is really hard on your body.
No, being obese is hard on your body. Losing the weight is good for you, unless you weight cycled down to a weight that was below what is considered healthy. If you go from obese to being a normal weight, you went from unhealthy to healthy. In order to avoid the constant cycling of an alcoholic getting sober, getting drunk, getting sober, getting drunk, I recommend that they just stay drunk forever. It's a lot safer that way. That's what you just said.
As is experience of weight stigma and oppression based on your size.
Oh god, oppression. You and gravity are oppressing yourself.
Now stop being a lazy thin person and look up some real science, or at minimum, stop harassing fat people on the internet.
Yeah, look up some real science, you lazy idiots. That's ironic. Alright, so that was completely insane. But I do appreciate that we got it in song and dance form. So let me retort thusly. Obesity is really bad for you now. Adipose tissue is hormonally active. Oh, you would have been better uploading nothing, yeah. Jazz hands, spirit fingers, oh. It's embarrassing enough to make up excuses when you try and fail at something, but to try to push that blame onto others and society as a whole is whole other levels of embarrassing. So what do you think? Do you think that fat phobia is a system of oppression? Leave a comment below. Happy Thursday, everybody. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. and I'll see you in the next one.